always deal with the root of the problem rather than dealing with the symptom of the problem. Because now what you're doing is you're dealing with a branch, an offspring of that original travel, that consciousness, that dimness, that darkness that hasn't been, transformed and transmuted into lightness. And now we're creating offspring conscious neural pathways to deal with those rotten fruits, things that keep springing into reality from our mentality. And we may try to make these things a part of our behavior, and this kind of develop like narcissists, people that think like these bad habits, these bad characteristics is somehow a part of their character and they can't be any other way without these things. But that's just somebody that lacks the ability to let go of a particular pattern they're playing out and just transmute it. And that's why in health, a lot of the times, especially in the pharmaceutical industries, people deal with, the industry promotes, especially dealing with, the symptom rather than dealing with the root of the problem. Because dealing with the symptoms in the long run creates more money for their system, creates more money for their hospitals. So you see, it's in the benefit of the system to keep you dealing with symptoms rather than dealing with the root of the problem. Because so long as you continue dealing with the symptoms, you'll continue to develop new symptoms from that original root. While if you just cycle back and actually really understand, your psychological profile, and based on whatever situations you've been through when you was a kid, whatever try to shut down, your vibration or whatever space you was frequently on, because all that happened was someone forcefully and intensely made you, or just through an experience, a traumatic event, you were made to vibrate frequently at a particular rate. You know what I'm saying? You could have gotten like jumped by a bunch of niggas. You could have gotten like anything could have happened. You could have been just made fun of in class. Anything could have happened. And just being in that space constantly kind of like develop a mind there. And that mind begin to, it can slowly take over your other minds. And it's like you just getting infected. And now you're using those other attributes and characteristics that you're supposed to be playing in the higher octave. Now you're using them for like low octave, low animalistic stuff. Because, we all got attributes and characteristics and traits, but it depends on how we use these things and what we use these things for. So never deal with the symptoms of the problem, because that prolongs the problem. Always deal with the root of the problem by tracing back subconsciously, where does that thing actually come from? If you really look at your childhood, if you really analyze your chakra structure, whether you're somebody who has a problem with their throat chakra, you can't express your opinions, or you constantly think about how things should be expressed around people and stuff like that based on you trying to get a particular outcome. These are psychological problems where you don't have balance. These are energy imbalances. Or you may be stuck in your heart chakra. You might be letting everybody take advantage of your feelings. You may be feeling everything around you too much and not separating yourself from other people's feelings, which cause you to get lost in other people's consciousness and stuff like that. So a lot of these things develop from early childhood ages. A lot of these things have to do with, our natal blueprint and stuff like that. And whenever basically we lack knowledge of self, we basically, like the Bible says, my people will perish for a lack of knowledge, a lack of knowing of themselves, because we lose ourselves in the external world. And through our root problems, we are giving solutions in the external world that we busy ourselves with until, shit kind of hits the fan, shit hits our face, and then we realize, damn, we really was distracting ourselves. Whether someone's vice may be extremely drinking, whether someone's vice may be, just doing a lot of crack and shit, whatever vice you're doing, if it's not, taking you to value the things that actually plant seeds for you to, have routines and schedules for you to develop status, or, things that take away from your individuality, so you don't know what to personally entertain, so you can have a broad philosophical point of view about it, or you might not even know how to communicate in your immediate environment, so you can network with people sufficiently, so you can build relationships, so you can have associations, and all these things. All these things come from a lack of willingness and a lack of ability to experience something new based on experiencing an energy blockage in an area. Because you may just simply try to, maybe a female, you might just want to sing. Maybe a man, you might want to sing. And someone told you, Negro, you too ugly, you too dumb to fucking do that. Sit down somewhere. Now that made you feel a particular type of way. The more you sit in that vibration, the more you assimilate that vibration into your neural structure or into your energy pathways, into your energy centers. So literally, we come into this world because there was a study that, talked about how they took a bunch of kids and they said that 92% of those kids, or 99%, were all geniuses. They took that same study group later on in life, right? And they said only 2% of that group were geniuses. What the fuck happened? Genius kind of rhymed with genuine. See, these kids forgot how to be genuine, how to personally interact with life, with existence from their relative position, and they're trying to do through someone else's template, which is, the Masonic Jewish template when it comes to religion, whether you want to communicate and commune with God, whether, you want to become an educator, but you're constantly lost in the education system of how the Masons teach stuff, their mathematics, their sciences. And there's nothing wrong with these things, but these things are inherently limited just due to the person or the people that are controlling these structures. So, always deal with the root symptoms, because what's buried underneath all those symptoms is a root problem. And once you deal with that, you can uncover your genuine self, and that genuine self can take you way further than what you think. But again, you've been programmed to think and feel like that genuine self won't take you anywhere, but in reality, that is you. And you cannot run away from you. You have to love and accept you, as I am doing, or as I'm trying. But yeah, I got pretty far down the road still.